think that Black girls have tried to play white girl games and we losing. You know,
Ooh.
white women can be floozies and they men gonna still marry them. Black women, you try to do that, you like, oh, but she easy. And so you see, oh, she getting a guy. And so you try to do the same thing. You realize, nope, that's not how. Because you remember back in the day, from what I remember, and I could have been in the shell, we were harder to get. You know,
That's a fact.
we
That's
we
I
were
don't I
100% a
don't
fact.
I don't know
harder
if I
to
agree
break
with
our
that.
shell.
Nah,
What I will say is it was harder to get you to do a whole bunch of other stuff. But getting that the box necessarily wasn't the
Well,
most
I was
difficult
hard.
thing.
I was harder to get because
no, I agree with both of y'all, but I think it's in comparison. So the easiest, so it was easier to get sex from other people. It was way harder to get some hair from a Black girl than anything. That probably was
Woo!
like one of the hardest things in the world.
Bruh,
we
you could,
just had
That was
like
up there.
we were like, oh, excuse me, you know, we had this by ourselves, like you're not going to degrade me, you know what I'm saying?
That was
But
the cardinal sin.
now we see women see what men don't
That
understand
was
about
the
women
worst
is
thing you
this.
could do.
That was the
That
worst thing you do.
growing
So
up,
this is it.
that was the
You might get
Men,
broke up with for
let
skeeting
me
in
tell you
somebody's
this.
eye if
Let
they
me tell you this,
agreed to it
Marcus.
back then.
So let me tell you this. To break the code with women, you have to stop talking in action. Women don't go by the words that come out your mouth. They go by your action. You can talk all when we said that's why that the BBL thing was last week. And you sit here, it's like, oh, BBL is not. But what women see, they don't go by what you say, they go by what you see. And so what has happened in the past is they see women who are halfway clothed getting attention. They see women, you know, at one point, hoes was winning. They was getting married. It was strippers getting married faster than women who were sanctified. You know what I'm saying? And so women saw that and they changed. They was like, well, if that's what I have to do, I'm gonna tell you this now. Most women do not want to be over sexualized. They don't, but they feel like they have to be to get not the cream of not the bougie woman. We know she don't feel like clutch her pearls. We're talking about average women. I can guarantee you this. Most average women do not want to be over sexualized. They do it because they know that that's how they get attention. They feel like that's what he wants because that's how he moves. But they're not able to see that it's just sexual. It's not going to lead to anything else. They're not able to see that part. All they see is that's how I'm going to get attention. That's how I get his attention. That's how I get my way in, my foot in the door, so to speak.
So
And
I'll
it
agree.
change his mind.
So I'll agree with you on that. That's how they get attention. But how do you explain the women who get upset with the man they're with when he does not want them to wear sexual clothing or show their body on the internet? And they
Well,
are
that's not
men.
so that is a handful of women. Most women who are married or in the grand scheme of things, you cannot influence me to believe that if a man comes to his wife and he says, I don't want you to dress this way, she said, I don't care what you say, I'm going to dress this way.
Right. No, I believe that, but according to the internet, that's why the internet is so
The
funny.
internet is toxic, and we keep believing these lies. We take one person's story and just say it's everybody's story. No, that's that big story.
I had just saw a clip today, and this was a show that I think it was one of the last shows I did before I went on my fast. But the guy, I can't remember his name. He was the host on Lapeef. I can't remember if it was Sunday show or whatever. But anyway, I saw this clip and I watched it back and I was like, this is crazy. And Marcus, you were on it, and I was like, I love Marcus. It was a part where the question was saying something around the way of, do you think most women move like that or something like that, about money or something like that? And I was saying that it was, I can't give a yes or no, right? And I was being forced to say, no, it has to be yes or it has to be no. I would not bend because I think there's a nuance to it. And I'm going to speak to the nuance. And it was around the idea of me saying, if you are in this space and you're making judgment call based on what you see in the media, then yes, most women are, you know, in regards to dealing with a man that had less money or something like that, or holding them down or whatever. I said, if you're being judged by that, then yes, that would be the answer. But in my world, in reality, what I see on a day-to-day basis, it doesn't align with what is going on here. So, and I just had to keep reiterating that, and they was trying to force me to say yes or no. And Marcus actually was just like, kind of in agreement, like, yeah, like you're going to base things off of your own experiences and the lens in which you see things because of your experiences. And so I think this is the situation as well. We spend so much time, especially this generation. I can't remember the stats on that, about how many hours that young kids, and I think from like 14 to like in their 20s or something, spend on social media. So if you are literally spending 15 hours a day or something on social media, that is, most of your interaction is seeing stuff that's not real, but you think it's real. And so now you're moving in the same mind frame with the idea of, oh, well, this is what you're supposed to do. This is how you do it. Oh, this is what men are doing. Oh, that's how you're supposed to talk to a woman. Oh, this is how you're supposed to carry yourself as a lady. Like, so you're going to keep meeting people in that same space because all of y'all are sharing social media as your measure of how to be a man or how to be a woman. But in reality, when you're living in the real world and then you're trying to interact with people like that in real life, you don't get the same results because it's not real.
What social media is the greatest invention for mind control ever. Like, with the way people think and the way you can alter an algorithm and you can force something into being popular and force you literally have control of the destiny and the future of the world. They could stop all negative stuff right now, like any negative content, block ban on some China stuff, right? And then you could alt like, all right, the only thing we're gonna do is allow you to do education or education-based stuff. You got to do XYZ. Now you 60 years ahead of your competition from another country. Like, you literally can shape the sphere of influence and thought patterns of the majority of the people. You're gonna have a small amount of people, maybe 10 to 15%, that's no matter what you do, they're gonna think that what they think and you not changing that. But that the rest of that 85%, you literally can mind control them into anything. And if you were to, like, also further conspiracy theory stuff, like, say you wanted to eliminate poor or middle class children, right? Like, you just didn't want that class of people to exist anymore. You just put them against each other and stop them from having children, and then it'll solve itself. It's like it's not that hard.
I don't know if y'all remember when I first came into the space, I would consistently say, yo, that's not my reality. I don't see what y'all are talking about. Like, this is what I see. This is this is how I know this can be successful. This is how I know that is successful. Like, this is complete BS. And I remember I used to get a lot of pushback. Like, no, this is really happening to folks. I always thought, shit, maybe you need to get around different folks. I still believe that, by the way. If you want things to change in your life, you have to change something in your life. If you want to be married and you're not getting the results of marriage with where you are and what you're doing, make the change. Stop doing what you're doing and go somewhere else. If you we're tired of women blaming certain women blaming, making all men look like pookies. Stop listening to them. Stop giving that air. Suck the oxygen out. And if you do that, they'll find another way to to get the dopamine hit, to get likes, to get clicks. They'll find another way because that is what they want to do. But if we start liking only the positive stuff, guess what they will start to feed out? Nothing but the positive stuff. And I've said this before, but it's like, nah, man, you don't know these girls, and you can't stop men from being men. Okay, so let's say I take your argument at that premise. We can't stop men from being men. Then how about you alienate those men that aren't moving the way you think a productive male in society should move?
But
oh no, we can't do that. Shit.
I mean, they were trying to do it to me.
they try to do it, but they just make it popular. Like, oh, he's the, you know,